welcome to Board Games Daddy. Today, a small box with a very big game inside. It's Red Cathedral from Devir. This is a smaller than usual box for a game like this, and basically what you need to do is you need to build the cathedral, the St. Peter's Cathedral, I think so. Where's the English? Tsar Ivan the Terrible has ordered construction of a cathedral in honor of his military victories. Many teams of builders will take part in the construction, but only one of them will stand out and gain the favor of the Tsar. So there's a bit of the layout and the setup of the game. So let me use this image to give you an overview what's happening here. So there will be a central board, which is like a market that works with a rondel Mancala mechanism, where you will pick one die and then you will walk the die the number of dots, and where you stop you get the commodity there, which could be money, crystals, jewelry, bricks, stone, wood and gold, and you will use that to build the cathedral. So there's an interesting mix here of games that you can find on other games. So for example, this mechanism here, it reminded me a lot of Trajan, where you need to go around and when you stop you do the actions. Maybe that's because I don't have many experience with rondel games, and the first one that came to me was Trajan. And then you have here, this is the cathedral, although it doesn't look because it's all on draft mode. When you deliver the resources that you'll see on the cards, you build that stage of the cathedral, you flip the card. And so that part reminds me of Seven Wonders Architect, when you need to flip along the way at each stage. As you go around and build them, you flip. That's a very similar mechanism. And so you will need to be the one to contribute the most to all of these towers when the cathedral is built, in order to get most points. Okay. So the artwork is incredible. This is really designed by someone that knows very well Russian art, or even it's a Russian artist, I believe, because they captures very well the theme. So let's take a look inside. There's also an expansion for this game, which I don't own, but I guess my experience with it was that the game is every player do the same team. They are racing after the points in the same way, so there's not much variance on the paths that you can take to win. Probably the expansion will help on that. I felt that everyone had to do the same thing, which is getting the resources, build and ornament, and there's no other way. Oh, what's this? Some publicity for other games. Luna Capital, Police. Oh, I've never seen this one. I got one of these, and I got this one as well. That's a cool game from Devir. Oh, twice? Why is that? Because El Juego and the two-player game. So there's a Spanish version here. Well, speaking of languages, the game comes with, look at this, 5 manuals in 5 different languages. What do you do? Do you keep all 5, or in a way that you want one day to sell it and still have the 5 manuals, or you just get rid of the ones that are not your native language and just keep one in order to save space? I don't know. Some games I get rid, some of them I save. It depends probably on the market value of the game when you acquire. But you'll have English, which I'm going to show you, Portuguese, Italian, French. This is French, yeah, and Spanish. The typical European languages, West European languages. So, a bit of history. In the 16th century, to commemorate military victories, Tsar Ivan the Terrible ordered construction of St. Basil, not St. Peter, St. Basil. Okay, let's see. Look at how the art is. Okay, and the things here. Okay, so during your turn, what you do is you can either claim a section, I will build this section, or build it, or acquire resources. So those are the three main actions. So this is how claim works, this is how building works, and this is still building, and this is how acquire resources work, which is going to the rondel. It's well explained in these different sections. And then end of the game scoring. So the end of the game scoring is not easy because you need to, you see the example here, you need to score each tower and see how many points you have. 2 for each building section, plus 1 for each ornament, and ornaments could be windows, could be doors, or could be crosses, like that. Okay, so you need to calculate the value of the tower, and then you need to give the points to all of them. All points go to the player that has contributed the most, and then half of that goes to the second player that has contributed the most, and then the third player gets half of the half. And if you did not contribute at all, so for example here blue doesn't contribute, it doesn't get anything from this tower. And there's special rules of the players, which I never played, and there's also solo mode here, which I never played as well. But it's always good when games have solo mode, right? And a quick reference on the actions that you'll have. So we will have these guys around the rondel that will help you with these actions, and these are true cards that you shuffle during setup. So every time you play, you may have a different experience because the helpers, these guys, could be completely different. And by the way, let's not forget I have a promo here to also open during this game when showing this, for you to see this promo. This is a promo that you can find it very easily out there, so let's also add to the collection. So we have the resources we saw: wood, bricks, player tokens, victory points markers, stone, and gold. Okay, nothing super special here. The 5 dice that you use on the rondel market, then 2 other resources, which are the gems. They come separately here because they're plastic. And then there's a lot of bags that you'll need to use to save all the tokens that I need to unpunch, for sure. Another bag, so it's like 5 bags, 5 extra bags. Cool, good. So the cards. Okay, let's open first the board. I think the board deserves a good look at it because it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Okay, so I'm trying to I'll show you the details, but first of all, let's see. So let's put it all the way around because there are some interesting details. You start here, and then there are 2 tracks here. There is the points track, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, goes around until 79, and then each time you cross one of these gates, these are the victory points, the double eagle points. So this is really what matters for the end of the game. And as you can see in the beginning, they are more spaced. You need to get more points to get through those gates, but as you go, they will become closer to each other, to a point that in the last turn, every point you get will get you a victory point. So there's a strategy here, which is try to get in the beginning more victory points than normal points, because if you do that, you'll go faster, right? And you can do that by investing on ornaments. But then if you just focus on ornaments, because ornaments will give you this straight away, if you focus on that, you won't focus on building the tower unless you play very well, right? So you invest on ornamenting but not on building the tower, and then you don't get points from the tower. But what I really wanted to show you is this design here. So I guess this is like the 4 seasons, which is completely irrelevant for the game. It doesn't have any impact if you are in the summer or spring, at least in the game that I played. I don't know if in solo this matters, but this should be winter here. And you have the cathedral in the back, lots of snow around Moscow, and then autumn as well. Oh, it seems like by the winter everything is built. But in autumn they're still building. Windy, leaves around flying. And then during summer, yeah, so this starts really on spring. And then on the summer it's a bit more, a little bit more built, and then autumn and then winter is completely built. Interesting. I don't know if this was intended, but we know that a cathedral like this is not built in 1 year, so I don't know. Let's take a look at the cards now. Let's see what we have here. What we have is an easy opener that I need to respect. There it is. The Caesar was not doing the job. Okay, so many different types of cards. I'm just going to separate here a bit for me to manage what I want to show you. So this is the cathedral cards. You have the rooftops, and then you have the walls and the base, which are the doors. Okay, so here it's just a matter of 3 different types, but on the other side they really make a difference. So you have the money that you get when you build this, the points that you move forward in the track, and these are the resources you need to deliver here in order to build. That's it, super simple. And they have lots of variants, so every time you start the game you just shuffle and see what will come out this time. Okay, so now the windows, that's it. They are all very similar, they just change in the number of points, coins, and whatever's. Okay, so lots of variants. It will never be the same game. Then we have the helpers here. Helpers, let's see who the helpers are. Okay, there are more helpers here. No, this must be solo. Okay, so we have the... Let me get the names here. Yeah, let me get the names. The clergy, then the merchant, the teamster. Well, what's a teamster? And the craftsman. So this priest, the teamster, the craftsman, and the merchant. Yeah. And on the other side you will see the type of actions you have. So if you pay 2 of any resource, you can change for another one. Here is you can activate one of your board places. I'll show you that. So even the cards, there's no equal cards here. They are all different. So you just use 4, as you can see, mixed randomly. So, well, you can try to have 1 of each if you want, but if you mix everything, the game will be completely random and different. Oh, this one you pay 3 and you go up. I've never seen that one. Or you pay 3 different and you go up. That's also cool. Okay. And so, by the way, I think this is a perfect time for me to open the promo guys, because they will replace some of these helpers that we see here. So, there are rules for the promo. I'll keep that just in case. And so let me just take a look and see what we have here. So the guy looks different on the back, and you pay and you do something with the die. You can exchange between players. Would that be between players? I don't know. I need to really read the rules on the QR code. This is, you pay 3 coins and you can go up. Oh, I don't know. I need to read the rules. What's this one? Let me try to guess. So, you can exchange. You can exchange a token you have on your board for some in the cathedral, I guess. I really think I should get the rules and leave them on the box to read next time I play the game, so I need to remember to do that. I remember what this is. So this is even so, nonetheless, that you will also have variety when choosing the cards for the cathedral. The scheme for the cathedral can even change. So look at the different schemes for the cathedral for the number of players that you can play. So this is never going to be the same game. Although everything you do is always very similar between players, the game itself, the way it's set up, is very different. And I guess this is a solo game that I've not played. Going back here to the box, we have the tokens to unpunch. So coins. So these are the ornaments that you'll be able to build by player color. So windows for the cathedral, doors, the golden crosses on top of the rooftops, the money on the currencies on the commodities on the rondel, and these are the things that will be on the cathedral for you to get. When you reserve a spot, you take those out and you replace them on your board that I will show you. I'll show the board. Because there is a bit of an engine here. So every player will have one of these boards with their corresponding colors, so this will be red. And I think this is the solo mode because I'm not recognizing that. This would be the normal mode. Or, let me think. -2, -2, -2. Why do you have -2? That's what you need to pay if you want to place your token there. But then you don't have ornaments. Or do you have ornaments? So I only play with this side, so I don't know what's happening on the other side. I need to study it a bit. But anyway, you put those squares here, and then when you use one of the dices, when you use one of them, you also do the action that you have here. So you build an engine that way. Build an engine in a way that you have not only one action for each die, but also two actions, the ones you really need. That's it. This was not how to play, it was just for me my videos are not how to play, they are just showing you what's inside these boxes and sharing experiences and giving you an impression of what you can find today at Red Cathedral. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you are truly a fan of board games, I invite you to check my channel. You'll find content there for board games, card games, games in general, and if you enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe, consider subscribing, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you.